by having them wash their clothing and prepare for the third day. For on the third day Jehovah will come down on Mount Sinai before the eyes of all the people. You are to set limit for the people all around and say, be careful not to go up on the mountain or even touch its base. Whoever touches the mountain will surely be put to death. No hand is to touch him, for he must be stoned or shot by arrow. Neither animal nor human will be allowed to live. When the shofar sound, they may go up on the mountain. Moshe went down from the mountain to the people and separated the people for Elohim, and they washed their clothing. He said to the people, prepare for the third day, don't approach a woman. On the morning of the third day, there was the thunder, lightning, and a thick cloud on the mountain. Then the shofar blast sounded so loudly that all the people in the camp trembled. And it's very interesting here. We have a passage here. Then the shofar blast sounded so loudly that all the people in the camp trembled. I go to Matthew 24. You see, here we have another point.
Matthew 24.
Matthew 24. You may say, oh yes, it doesn't much, but we will see. Okay?
27.
No, 20.
27. No, 27.
No, 27. Later. So 27. For when the Son of Man, the Son of Adam comes, it will be like lightning that flashes out of the east and fill the sky to the western horizon. So he make a comparison. It is like.
Yeah.
It is not a lightning. It is like a lightning, because it flashed from the east to the western horizon. Wherever there is a dead body, that's where you find the vulture. But immediately, following the trouble of this time, the sun will grow dark, the moon will stop shining, the star will fall from the sky, and the power in heaven will be shaken. So this one has been interpreted literally, which is a different way. But it's not for today. Then the signs of the Son of Man will appear in the sky, all the tribe of the land will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with tremendous power and glory. He will send out his messenger with a great shofar, and they will gather together his chosen people from the four winds, one heaven to the other. You see? With a great shofar. Here you have the shofar with sound on the mountain. You see? And here we have the sound of the shofar which come out. You see? In the same time. Okay? In the same time. Okay? Now, I will keep going here. I go back to Shemot 19. On the morning of the third day, there was thunder, lightning, and a thick cloud on the mountain. Then the shofar blast sounded so loudly that all the people in the camp trembled. Okay? Now, the third day, we go to Hosea, chapter 6. So, for the context, to know that to whom he is speaking, we go to the end of the chapter 5, with 14. Or 13. When Ephraim saw his sickness and Yehudah is warned, Ephraim went to Ashur and sent envoys to a warring king. But he can't heal you or cure your wound. For to Ephraim I will be like a lion, and like a young lion to the house of Yehudah. I will tear them up and go away. I will carry them off and no one will rescue. I will go and return to my place. That is the verse. I will go and return to my place till they admit their guilt and search for me, seeking me eagerly in their distress or in the tribulation. Okay? You see, there's verse 15 from 5:15, the last verse.
Okay.
You see, he said, I will go and return to my place till they admit their guilt and search for me, seeking me eagerly in their distress. That means I will hide myself from them. Okay? Now in verse 6, we keep going, he's speaking to Ephraim, okay? And come, let us return to Jehovah, for he has torn and he will heal us. He has struck and he will bind our wounds. After 2 days, he will revive us. On the third day, he will raise us up, and we will live in his presence. You see, now, here he say exactly the same thing. He say on the third day, when Moses speak, he speak to the children of Israel in the literal sense, in the physical world. So now he speak to them, and they do. They say it is written that they wash their clothes. Go and wash. They wash their clothes. Literally literal for the spiritual. Here, Hosea do not speak more anymore in the spiritual. It's in the literal. He speaks in the spiritual realm.
Because it's a future.
It's a future.
It's a prophecy.
So, yeah, we have to understand that, because it's very important to understand that here we have Yeshua speaking to his disciples. He say in Matthew 16:21, he say, "For that time forth began Yeshua to show unto his disciples how that he must go unto Jerusalem and serve many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed, be raised again the third day." We see the third day. We follow this pattern. 17:23, "And they shall kill him, and the third day he shall be raised again." Now Matthew 23, "And he went out about the third hours, and saw others standing in the marketplace." Matthew 20:19, "And shall deliver into the Goyim to mock and to scourge and to crucify, and the third day he shall rise again." Now look this one in Matthew 27:64. "Command therefore that the sepulchre be made sure until the third day, lest his disciple come by night and steal him away, and say unto the people, He is risen from the dead, so the last error shall be worse than the first." You see, they were already scared of that. Okay? So you see, we have a concentration with the third day. And we know that Yeshua died on the 14th of the first month, as it is written in the book of Shemot with the Pesach, which we're going to study very soon. The Pesach is pointing here to the death of Yeshua. And the Pesach is killed, the lamb is killed on the 14th, between the two evening. And here he say, so we have the date of the death of Yeshua is on the 14th of the first month. And we know by the scripture that he, at the end of the Shabbat, in the morning of the first day, he was no more in the tomb. So he was on the 14th, he was there. The 15th was a Shabbat. The 15th was a Shabbat. That's according to the Torah. At the end of the 15th, he was no more there. He was raised. Okay? He raised at the end of the Shabbat. He raised.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he went to preach to those in Sheol. Okay? Now.
But what is interesting, because Yeshua raised on the third day, right?
Yeah, he raised on the third day.
But Book of Isaiah said that on the third day we will be back to Elohim.
Yeah. We will be on the third day. He will raise us up.
He will raise us up,
will raise,
and that we will live in His sight.
This is the resurrection. The same resurrection.
Because when Yeshua resurrected, then He was present in the heavenly places as a first fruits of everything.
Yeah.
Because this one is spiritual.
Here he say, but He will raise us up and we will live in His presence. I'm not finished. But the third day, you see, on the third day,
Yeah.
third day, He's pointing to the resurrection. He's pointing to the resurrection. And the first who has been raised from the dead is Yeshua.
This is...
Okay?
So if
here,
Yeshua is resurrected in the third day, because it is Jehovah who has healed us, but through His spirituality, not in the natural yet, because it will come in the coming back of Yeshua.
Yes, here he speak about is a future vision of the prophet. That's what he speak. He's speaking to Ephraim, to Yehuda in the future. In the future.
Because he's speaking to Ephraim. This one.
Yeah.
Speaking to Ephraim.
Yes.
But this one we did when Yeshua said when Yeshua was resurrected, this is where we are already healed in spiritual sense.
But in the spiritual, the resurrection is not fully accomplished.
No, not yet.
Because we know that according to Paul in the book of Romans, he explained that we are sit at the right hand of Elohim in Mashiach Yehoshua. But we are waiting according to the book of Romans. Let me find that.
It affect the natural.
Let me find that. I'm going to read the book of Romans. Yes,
Because if you understand what Charles said, it's very beautiful, darling.
yeah. Yes.
Because everything in the spiritual sense is already restored.
Yeah.
Because we have the temple in the heavenly places, which Yeshua is the high priest. This one is restored by our prayers here on earth. This was commanded the believers on earth to walk in the spirit, because this is how Elohim will reach in heaven. We can reach Elohim in heaven, and not by our carnal, because it is written, Charles said, flesh and blood cannot please Elohim.
Yes. Yeah.
Is it not beautiful?
Yeah, is it? But I want to focus on the third day, okay? So now I go to the book of Revelation. So what does he say in the book of Hosea? You see, in the book of Hosea, very clearly, he tells us in the book of Shemot, in the chapter 19, we see that Jehovah said to Moshe, "Let the people wash themselves today and tomorrow. For on the third day I will come down to the mount." Okay. Then we see Hosea, who speak for the future to the children of Israel, that he will heal them, and after 2 days, at the end of the 2 days, 2 days are passed. And we know that 1 day is equal 1,000 years. So if we count from the first coming of the Mashiach to the second coming, we have 2,000 years, 2 days. Now, we know, not according to the pagan calendar, the Gregorian calendar, that we have not reached the 2,000 years now.
Not yet.
That no, we are not. We have not reached. Okay, we miss some years. So he said, after 2 days, he will revive us. Revive. In order to revive, we have to live. We need to have Mashiach. He will revive us. He will revive us. We need to have Mashiach. So he revives us by giving us the Ruach of Mashiach, to live in the Torah.
Yeah.
To be alive is to walk in the Torah. Otherwise, we are dead people.
Yeah, they're bondage. This is what Charles said. Bondage in Galatians.
He will revive us. Now, he said he will come down. In the book of Revelation, he said, in chapter 21, at the end, "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth." Problem is with the new, because the word is Chadash. It's a renewed heaven, a renewed earth. There is nothing new, it's renewed.
Yeah.
And why I say that? Because if you go to the book of Bereshit, in the chapter 2, we see Elohim say that what he did was very good. The earth was very good.
Yeah.
So what he renewed according to what Charles say, that even the creation itself grown for the restoration. We need the restoration of all things.
Yeah, because the earth is groaning. Also, it's in pain. Also.
Then I saw a renewed heaven and a renewed earth, for the whole heaven and the whole earth had passed away, and the sea was no longer there. Also, I saw the Kadosh city, New Jerusalem, coming down of heaven from Elohim.
Because I said temple.
Prepare like a bride, beautiful dress for her husband.
Amen.
I heard a loud voice from the throne say, "Elohim is with mankind, and he will live with them. They will be his people, and himself, Elohim with them, will be their Elohim." You see, it is exactly what Hosea say. It's happening here at the end of the book of Revelation, not in the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's say.
But it's not yet happened,
It has not yet happened. No. Of course, it has not yet happened. You see, this is why we see that now, that here the problem is to understand that.
Yeah.
You understand? To understand that, you will see that here in the it is in the chapter 19. I just wait. I should wait. Just make a pause. Chapter 19. We read.
Chapter 19.
Chapter 19, and just before the new heaven, the renewed heaven, before we see the new Jerusalem coming down. You see, here they sing, "Hallelujah, Jehovah, Elohim of heaven's army, has begun his reign. Let us rejoice and be glad. Let us give him the glory. For the time has come for the wedding of the Lamb, and his bride has prepared herself. Fine linen, bright and clean, has been given her to wear. You see, that is the restoration. Yeah, that is the restoration from Hosea. You see, fine linen means the righteous deeds of Elohim's people, in bracket. The messenger said to me, write, how blessed are those who have been invited to the wedding feast of the Lamb. Then he adheres Elohim's very word. I fell at his feet to worship him, but he said, don't do that. I am only a fellow servant with you and your brothers who have the testimony of Yeshua. Worship Elohim, for the testimony of Yeshua is the spirit of prophecy.
Listen.
You see?
Listen, this is what I catch. Moshe went to Mount Sinai 40 years, right?
Yeah.
40 years before he came down, right?
Yeah.
The same Yeshua was when he was resurrected, was sent, and he will. The 40 years equals to 2,000 years.
Yes.
Because after the 3,000, on the third day, Yeshua will come back.
Yeah, but at the beginning of the third day.
At the beginning of the third day, of course, the third day is come from the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning of the third day. Yeah.
You cannot say third day and then the 31. No.
That day will be the fourth day. Okay.
It is a run for that fourth day. So if we finish the 2 days, this is what we have now. We are not reached yet after the 2000.
Yeah.
We are almost in the close to the
Yeah,
third.
we're coming close and close, and we see that the pressure is coming more and more.
Yeah, it will come.
You know, and I believe that he will be even stronger if we are right in the calculation. I say if we are right in the calculation, in 2023 the pressure will go up. We will see that, okay, and then it will cool down, and then we go up again. So we will see that, but this is for another story.
Yeah, of course.
For now, is
But
to
the
understand.
pattern is very clear, darling.
Yeah.
You know, I'm clear now that Yeshua will not come back with the 7 months. No. He will come in the Shavuot.
Yes,
very clear now in the
Of
Parsha.
course, here the coming of the Mount Sinai is called Matan Torah, the giving of the Torah. Okay, they give the Torah. Shavuot is a giving of the Ruach HaKodesh, and Yeshua is the word of Elohim. When will he come? He will come on Shavuot. But we have the sign also here. We have really the sign that it is. You count the month, not according to tradition. We count the years from the first month. The first month is always the month of Aviv. And they came here at the time of Shavuot. Okay? He said the third month. The third month from what? The third month according to what he said in this word, when he said this one will be the first of the month, which is the month of Aviv. So we count that. This is why there is no mistake. To me, it is clear that Yeshua will come on the month of he will come at the time of Shavuot. He will come at the time of Shavuot, and I am convinced of that.
No,
there is a gap
Yeah.
between the judgment of the nation is coming and the judgment of the nation. I believe that what is interesting again, we have 5 months between Shavuot and the feast of the 7th month. You know?
Because what I'm trying to understand, because when Moshe went back the father, he get the how do you call it, the tablets. The tablets. It because it is like the ketubah, you know. When it came down, it's a ketubah.
Yes.
And then that ketubah is to the marriage of the people of Israel.
Yes, of course.
And the same when Yeshua come back.
Yes, exactly. They become at Mount Sinai, the children of Israel become. He said in the chapter 19. He said, look. He gave the condition of the ketubah. He gave them the condition of the ketubah. He said here very clearly.
19.
In 19, I read from the verse 5, 19:5 in Shemot 19:5. Now, if you will pay carefully attention to what I say and keep my covenant, then you will be my own treasure from among all the people, for all the earth is mine. So this means, you see, the whole earth belongs to Elohim, but you are a peculiar people. You belong to me, and you will be a kingdom of Kohanim for me, a nation, a goy, not a goyim, set apart. These are the words you have to speak to the people of Israel. You see, this is very important to understand. And here we see that Kepha, take that again.
First Peter 2:9.
Yeah, I think Kepha first.
First Peter 2.
Yeah. He said here. I start verse 8. Okay. I was 7. Now to you who keep trusting, he is precious. But to those who are not trusting, as in Yeshua, the very stone that the builder rejected has become the cornerstone. Also he is a stone that will make people stumble, a rock over which they will trip. They are stumbling at the word, disobeying it, as had been planned. But you are a chosen people, the king's Kohanim. He used the same wording than in Shemot 19.
Yeah.
A Kadosh Goy, a people of our Elohim to possess.
Amen.
You see? Why? In order for you to declare the praise of the one who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light. Once you were not a people, but now you are Elohim's people. Before you had not received mercy, but now you have received mercy. He's quoting Moshe.
Yeah.
You see, the same spirit which go from Moshe went to Hosea, went to Kepha, went to the disciple, go to the people today who believe the Torah, who understand the Torah, the same spirit. The same spirit. This is why we are one. Because we have the spirit of the Mashiach who is in us and proclaim the same thing. There is nothing to invent to say, oh, these are the evangelists. Well, you get this one. Show me that like we do that now. Nothing. You understand? He is very clear. Kepha has no confusion. He knows exactly what the prophet Hosea was speaking. This is why he quote. He doesn't quote from himself, he quote from Hosea. You understand?
If you understand Hosea.
Yeah, he quote from Hosea chapter 1.
It's very clear about what the royal priesthood.
Yeah. You see? So this is very important to understand. The third day is so important in the understanding. I know that Avi spoke about the third day, and he goes more than this, more deeper. But the third day is the turning point of the understanding of the work of Mashiach.
Yeah, amen, hallelujah. Because when the Jerusalem above will come down, this is the marriage of the Lamb.
Yeah.
And this is what represent also that Moshe, when he bring down the ketubah.
Yeah. The covenant. The covenant is the 10 davars is a covenant between Elohim and his people, and it contains the foundation.
The misinterpretation of all the some who believe that only the Torah is the 10 commandments. It's not so. It's wrong. How will you understand the coming back?
You cannot.
Now we are studying with the partial true, and you can see.
Well,
we studied it for how many years?
It's a foolish.
But now I just see what is the beauty of this.
It's a foolish thing, because they just say that he did the 10 commandments, but they use the Torah to make the people pay tithe. You see, that they go to the Torah, that they show him that it is in the Torah. You see, they pick and choose what they like. But because they have not the Ruach, they cannot understand the deeper things of the Ruach, the deeper things which is hidden in the Torah itself. From the beginning, from the first book of Bereshit, from the first chapter, it is hidden inside. And we have to understand. And if we don't study the Torah, we will have no renewing of our mind. We will not understand. Paul knew what he's speaking. He knew that people cannot understand. He said, you cannot hear what I say. You should be now eating meat, but I have to feed you with milk. You understand? Why? Because
they are carnal.
Because they are carnal. You see, and this is the problem today that we have when the people do not want. They don't want because they are rebellious spirit. They have a rebellious spirit. They are stubborn people who do not want to listen and prefer to have the, again, Paul say that. He said that he won Timothy. He tell him, you see. Let me see. Les pages sont tellement fines ici. Stop it because I have to find. Chapter 4. The Spirit expressly stated that in the Arari Ayamin, some people will apostatize from the faith by paying attention to deceiving spirits and think taught by demons. Such teaching come from the hypocrisy of liars
Oh, lala.
whose own conscience have been burned as it with a red-hot branding iron. So it connects the demons with the teacher who are the liars.
First
First Timothy chapter 4. Okay? The Spirit expressly states that in the Ararit Hayamin, some people will apostatize. What do you read it?
which verse?
Verse 1.
Now the Spirit expressly says that in later times some will depart from the faith, giving heed to deceiving spirits and
things-
doctrines of demons,
Such-
speaking lies in hypocrisy, having their own conscience seared with a hot iron.
Stop. Who are these demons? What is demons? What is demons?
I don't know.
It is written, verse 2, such teaching come from the hypocrisy of liars, whose own conscience have been burned. You see, they are under the control of evil spirit. These teachers are under the control of evil spirit. He said that here. They are under the control of demons, evil spirit.
Evil spirit, like a spirit of Jezebel.
Yeah, spirit of Jezebel, all this evil spirit who goes against you. At that time.
In the
Look.
Judaism also.
Verse 3, they forbid marriage and require abstinence from food which Elohim created to be eaten with thanksgiving by those who have come to trust and to know the truth. For everything created by Elohim is good, and nothing received with thanksgiving needs to be rejected, because the word of Elohim and prayer make it kadosh. Now, you go to 2 Timothy chapter 4, again 4. I solemnly charge you before Elohim in the Mashiach Yeshua, who will judge the living and the dead when it appears and establishes his kingdom. Proclaim the word, be on hand with it, whether the time seems right or not. Convict, censure, and exhort with unfailing patience and with teaching. Verse 3. For the time is coming when people will not have patience for sound teaching, but will cater to their passion and gather around themselves teachers who say whatever they hear each to hear. Yes, they will stop listening to the truth, the Torah, but will turn aside to follow myth. You see? Bam! This is what he says. Verse 3 and 4. You see? You see? But he encouraged Timothy, he said, but you, verse 5, remain steady in every situation, endure suffering, do the work that a proclaimer of the good news should, and do everything your service to Elohim require. Okay? So he warned them, 2 times he warned them, that is the last day. The last day is now coming. And you will say, demons, he said, teacher what under the control of demons. It is written. It's not me. If you don't like, go to fight with Paul. This is why people do not like Paul. This is why they don't like Paul, because it disturbs them.
Yeah, the
You understand?
leaders at this time, it disturbed them. The leaders of this
understand?
time, it disturbed them. And now it's running down in our generation because we are in the last days.
This is why
The
we
last day
need to
represent
understand that.
discipline.
We need to understand that, darling. And you see the how Elohim explained the thing. He said, I speak the end from the beginning. You want to know the end, you go to the beginning. We go to the book of Shemot. We go to the book of Bereshit. Who are the multitude? Who is this multitude? Go to Bereshit chapter 48. You will see that they are pagans. They are not pagans. They are the descendants from Ephraim. All the nation which come from Ephraim. You see? So it is. So it is.